Hey guys, so normally this is the part of the show where I advertise my Patreon at patreon.com/MatthewDonald, but I have something a bit more important to advertise today. No, this isn't a joke. This isn't like when I was like, oh, Paleobites hemorrhoid cream. And no, this isn't a joke on a joke. It's like, oh, this is Paleobites energy drink formula. No, of course not. No. And this isn't Paleobites toilet paper either. Okay. I really undermined myself by doing so many jokes. So I have an actual book for you to actually buy with actual money. It's called Tesla Knots. It's a steampunk set in the 1920s about a secret group of government agents led by Nikola Tesla that use incredible technology hidden to the world. And the main character learns of this organization on a quest to find out what happened to his father, who's been missing since World War I. And it's a romp. You really should check it out. It's available on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, at thrift bookstores online. It's available for ebook and print. It's getting great reviews so far, and you should be part of the movement, because this book is what's current. Electrical pun. Also, I've got a Patreon at patreon.com/MatthewDonald. And this month we're talking about Disney's Dinosaur as our pop culture featuring prehistoric animals, an underrated movie from 2000. You can check that out, I guess, too. Check them out in both. Support your local artists. Links in the description for both of these things. Thank you for your support, and have a good day!
Roar, growl, snarl, bellow.
Welcome to Paleobites, the podcast consistently ranked in the top 40 nature podcasts in Sweden. True story.
It's a Swedish, much like you.
Yeah,
Swedish. Well, I must not do I don't want to do an accent because I don't want to offend anyone.
It's Swedish. I like us very much.
I just recently learned that in Sweden,
yeah.
Before we've even introduced ourselves.
My name's Matthew Donald, and each week I and a rotating series of guest co-hosts talk about and rate genes of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. The reason I'm skimming through this is because this month I'm joined by someone who has something very interesting to say about the Swedish.
Yes.
It's Lexi Ryan.
Hello. Okay, so one of the guys I dated in high school was Sweden. Funny story.
You dated Sweden.
Well, he was Sweden. He was Swedish.
The anthropomorphic person.
Super nice guy. But what was crazy is, so I was watching this show about traveling, and they were in Sweden, and it was a way to say, I can't remember if it was hello or something basic, like thank you, hello,
it was like
goodbye.
Flav,
and it was like.
They just gasped.
It's either a gasp or an exhale. It was like.
Like
it was something like that. Like it was a guy going around the town asking, like, how do you say this? And every single person, there was a little variation between each person, but it was a very general, like, air sound. And so Swedish fans of the show, you should.
Which it seems like there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, hit us up and clarify, what the heck is that? Am I crazy? Do I have you mixed up with Finland? I really hope not.
Also, is a rutabaga also known as a Swede or something?
A rutabaga? That's a vegetable, yo.
Yeah, I know, but isn't it also, it's also known as a Swede?
Hey, Swedish fans.
Hold on.
Go ahead and get at us in the comments.
Okay.
Let us know if y'all want us to call you a rutabaga. To me, that sounds.
It's just. I mean, look. It's not that a rutabaga is.
Is it like how you call like an American a Yank?
No. I don't mean like. I mean like another name for the vegetable. It's also a Swede is a type of vegetable. It's also known as a rutabaga.
Okay. I'm following now, and I do think that might be a thing. It's correct.
Rutabaga or Swede is that's the British call it a Swede.
Yeah, the British are way there.
Yes, the British with the bobbies.
Them weird with the bobbies and the lorries. And the boot in the car.
I can't think of any more. I know there's more.
Fish and chips. Yeah.
Fish and chips. Yeah. Bollocks.
I know the entire.
Cold blimey.
Cold blimey. Yeah, bollocks is good. I'm completely knackered. Is also what they say if they're tired.
Completely knackered, you bunch of wankers. Okay, so on the dinosaur-related question.
Do you have one? Because I have one. If you don't have it.
Okay, well,
mine is just like, what color would you be? Because we've never done like a basic one. Like, what color would you be? Like, there's still variety, right? What color dinosaur?
Oh, what color dinosaur? If you were a dinosaur, what color would you be? I'd be blue.
Blue. Okay, are we talking like
a silver
realistic or actual options of what we would expect the colors
I'm
to look like?
I'm thinking like a monitor lizard blue, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what a monitor lizard.
So
this is what just came into my brain. A monitor, like a blue TV, but before the auxiliary cords plugged in, and then you said lizard. So I was like, that's really bright.
Oh yeah, like those old Apple monitors.
Yeah, like those. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Blue monitor lizard.
Why is it called blue monitor? I just keep thinking about a blank television.
A monitor lizard is just a type of lizard.
Okay, so Google blue monitor lizard if you'd
Or
like
just-
to see what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's a pretty vibrant little guy.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, so this might be stupid.
Yeah. Just monitor lizards are a type of family
Well,
lizards. Like
no,
Komodo
those
dragon's
are,
a monitor
I'm thinking
lizard.
of amphibians. Never mind.
Yeah.
Because
Komodo-
like there's some amphibians with some really beautiful coloring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But honestly, I really dug the vibe. Like, if realistic, the red feathered raptor.
Oh, the pyroraptor.
And, like with all of those beautiful feathers, it
In,
was like
Jurassic
it
World.
was truly like a cross between a phoenix and especially the way it was in the water. It was just really beautiful.
Yeah, the
So, like,
pyroraptor in Jurassic World Dominion was very beautiful. So
yeah, so
you'd
like
be
that
red.
would be, if that's like an actual existing thing, then that's what I would choose. And then otherwise, if I was like going, worlds out of the ordinary or whatever be a thing, I would be glow in the dark.
That'd be cool.
Which would be, but I wanted the Willa to turn it off because otherwise I'm definitely
Bioluminescent.
Or I'd have to be, if I'm going in the dark, I have to be a huge predator because you can see me and I have no form of camouflage. So
well,
I need
that's the thing. You're mentioning the beautiful looking amphibians, and a lot of times the reason why they're so pretty looking is because they're highly poisonous.
Yes.
And it's a warning to predators.
Yeah.
So, and I learned recently one of the reasons, like, why would you try to warn predators? And it's like, well, because the poison doesn't do you much good if they eats you and then it still dies.
Yeah, right.
Like, because you don't want to be eaten.
It's like I'm warning you so it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly. If it eats you and dies, you still got eaten, so
Or
you're still dead.
Maybe it would be something really intense. Maybe I would have, picture a T-Rex
Yeah.
with the pattern of a giraffe.
Okay, I could see that.
That's me, baby.
I've seen some art of like hadrosaurs, like duck-billed dinosaurs with zebra patterns.
See, and I was just thinking, my first thought was like tiger stripes. I was like, that's badass. But
That's pretty cool.
but-
the velociraptors in the Lost World Jurassic Park, the second of the Jurassic Park trilogy, had kind of tiger stripes.
I don't remember that one. I've seen the least.
That
one
one's not my favorite. I think it's actually my least favorite of the series. But
of the entire thing.
oh yeah,
It might be mine too. That one is. I think that's my least favorite, which is weird because it has Vince Vaughn. I love me some Vince Vaughn.
yeah, but his character lets everyone die so many
Yeah,
times.
and I try really hard to like that redhead chick.
Oh,
Julianne
Moore.
Moore. Like, she's in a lot of stuff that I think I like, but there's, she's a bit of an Anne Hathaway. What do I mean by that?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't love Anne
personal.
Hathaway. I got beef with Anne Hathaway, man.
This is promo art of Velociraptors from Lost World.
Yeah.
So
But it's in tiger stripes.
Yeah,
And it
so
does look pretty fierce.
yeah.
But that one has its paws turned down. Which
Yeah,
we
that's
now-
again the
which we
pronated
now
hands.
know is,
Yeah.
So wait, I want to make sure I retain that information. Pronated?
It's also just called more kangaroo hands. Also.
See, I don't know because I thought kangaroos had like fists.
They do kind of have fists.
But they're like downwards versus my hands facing each other, which is actually what is the case.
Right.
And you said that that's a new discovery?
No, it's just they just didn't.
They just
depict
messed
right.
it up.
They messed it up
Or
originally and
the
didn't
level
fix it
of
until
detail.
recently.
Yeah.
So let's see. Hold on,
In
Jurassic
Jurassic World.
Okay, so here's promo art for the T-Rex in Jurassic World Dominion, and as you can see, the claws are facing each other now.
Yeah, okay.
So
Which is accurate. Okay.
yes. All right. So speaking of the tiny little claws like that, we're talking about a new type of dinosaur described just this year. Actually, because dinosaur, it's always a new science, updating science. We're talking about a dinosaur called Meraxes, which means giant dragon, but it's specifically named after a dragon in George R. R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire. You have confirmed to me that it is not in Game of Thrones.
I don't believe so. Prove me wrong if I'm wrong. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty damn sure it's not in there.
Yeah, I mean,
It might be mentioned, but
Yeah.
but I mean, dragons in that realm.
all I know is
it's-
Drogon.
Well, just so you know, in Game of Thrones, like at this point, when the Game of Thrones, not the new prequel that's coming up, but in Game of Thrones, like dragons have been dead for a very long time.
Well,
So it's like
yeah.
they're not talked about it or like
Wait, dead or like dying?
Like when Khaleesi comes out eventually and she's like, "Yo, I got 3 dragons and they hatched in this
Where
fire
did
with
she
me."
get them?
She was given eggs that were thought to be petrified because dragons died out forever ago.
Oh, okay.
So as a wedding gift. So anyway, Meraxes is not mentioned,
Okay.
but prove me wrong.
Okay, sounds good. I guess this not only are paleontologists nerds, this one's a huge nerd, where it's like, it's not just naming it after a nerdish property, but it's also naming it of a nerdish part of a nerdish property. It's so obscure. It's not in the main. It's not like, oh, you name this dinosaur Jedi-saurus. You name it like.
Well, it's also conjuring in my mind a couple different things. Like there's in the movie Jupiter Ascending,
Yeah.
their name is Abraxas, the House of Abraxas, which is kind of close to Meraxes.
Yeah, it kind of
And
is.
then in Doctor Who, there's an alien race called the Atraxi, which is, I guess that's not super close. Anyway,
I mean, it has an EXE in it. Sounds like Lexi. Is your name close to this?
I'm an alien.
Merlexis?
That's what they call me.
Meraxes. Sounds like if you was a
Yeah,
mermaid.
Meraxes. Yeah, that's me.
That's
Meraxes.
Meraxes.
Yeah, that's what I call my car.
Alexis.
Meraxes.
Oh, you have a Lexus?
No, I'm not that rich.
Oh, I was gonna say that'd be cool if Lexi had a Lexus. Anyways, all right. So it is a carcharodontosaurid theropod, a group of enormous meat-eating dinosaurs that includes the T-Rex usurper, Giganotosaurus, like the new one from Jurassic World Dominion.
So, quick clarifying question: enormous meat-eating dinosaurs, were they enormous meat eaters, or was the meat they were eating enormous?
Both. In fact, actually, I'll get to it. The meat they were eating was quite enormous,
Crazy.
but they themselves were also enormous. So, remember in Jurassic World Dominion, the Giganotosaurus, the new one.
Yes.
This is in the same
Now I
family
do.
as that. Okay. So,
Okay.
So not a T-Rex relative, but more related to that one.
Wait, which is the all-time predator that Sam Neill was like, that's the big one.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Because like it was
So
first.
that's like all time.
Well, it's more complicated than that because it's like there seems to be a clear maximum in size that these animals can get. Because like
Makes sense.
Yeah, because like T-Rex, was the biggest for a long time, and then in 1995 we discovered Giganotosaurus, and it was bigger, but only slightly, very slightly. And now it's at the point where it's really no one really knows which one's heavier or longer. They're all kind of the same size. There's like a bunch of dinosaurs from different meat-eating dinosaur families that all cap out at that size. Like that's the clear limit, it seems to be.
See, when I think about that, big dinosaurs, like it seems to me like Bronchiosaurs or whatever, or any of Brachiosaurs. Sorry,
Brachiosaurs. Right. You always say Bronchiosaurs.
Like
it's
it
very
has
It's
bronchitis.
very sweet. It's very cute, honestly. Bronchios.
That's what I thought it was. Maybe it's because like that's what my brother said when he was 4, and
that
he
sounds
was
like something a
close,
4-year-old
but
would say. Bronchiosaurus.
Bronchiosaur. Well, it's like Bronchosaurus Rex.
Brachiosaurus Rex.
That's my favorite.
Bronchitis Rex.
What's your favorite dinosaur, Lexi? Bronchosaurus Rex. I always thought they were the biggest ones.
Okay, they're the biggest overall. These are the biggest meat eaters,
Okay.
biggest theropod dinosaurs.
And so where is our guy Meraxes in the lineup here?
Okay,
like
it's up there. Again, these are all kind of all the same
Okay.
the same size. It's like at that maximum limit, but it's 35 to 40 feet, / 10 to 12 meters long, 4 to 6 tons. So like basically T-Rex sized.
okay, scary.
Yep. Also a carnivore, obviously. Time Mid Cretaceous, 95 to 93 million years ago. So about 30 million years before T-Rex. So location Argentina. Argentina. In fact, there's a lot of big dinosaurs in Argentina. Argentina is a place of big dinosaurs.
Crazy.
Yeah. It was described this year, 2022.
Meraxes.
Yeah.
You know what's miracular?
Yeah. Miraculous.
Miraculous.
What's miracular?
You know what's for miracular?
What's miracular is your vernacular.
Because I remember the name, and I never remember the names.
Yeah.
I
Well,
always
it's
struggle with
shorter.
them.
It's shorter. It sounds kind of nerdish. So.
Meraxes.
Yeah, if you're watching Witcher earlier, you could be like Meraxes the Third of the.
That's not how it works.
I don't know. I don't watch it.
It's more of like Sir Blank of Blank. So it's like Matthew of Highlands Ranch.
Well, actually, I live in Centennial.
I'm Sir Matthew of Centennial. Yes.
But yeah, Sir Matthew of Centennial. God. Pop culture appearances, give it time. This thing has gotten a ton of publicity lately, and also has an awesome sounding name, so I fully expect it to show up in Ark Survival Evolved video game or Dinosaur Train anytime now. So, have you ever seen Dinosaur Train?
No.
It's this cute little show for preschoolers, but it has a lot of obscure dinosaurs in it, like a lot.
Well, that's exciting.
It's educational for.
Yeah.
So,
inclusion, diversity.
it's good for everyone.
2022.
And yeah. So pounding across the plains of Patagonia.
Was that intentional?
What?
Pounding across the plains of Patagonia.
Yes, it
Okay.
was. I like using my alliterations.
Of course.
Was one of the largest land animals that ever lived. The giant Titanosaur Argentinosaurus. With a body over 100 feet long and a weight of nearly 90 tons, this creature would seem more like a god than a mere animal, and surely nothing could threaten a god, right? Well, it turns out it lived alongside some pretty huge pack-hunting predators. The newest one to add to the collection is this fellow, Meraxes. Like I said, it was named after a dragon in George R. R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire, but it's not in Game of Thrones. Because I don't know, I've never watched that show, and then once I heard it in the dumpster fire, I was like, I made the right choice.
It has grown on me.
The ending?
And I am pumped. I mean, it still bums me a little bit, but it's not, time heals all.
Well, also,
I
don't think people had a problem necessarily with what happened. It was just how rushed
Oh, no.
it was.
People, yeah.
Because, like,
I mean, I think
spoiler alert for Game of Thrones.
spoiler alert, very clear spoiler alert. Turn away.
Daenerys turning evil was kind of people kind of figured that would
it's
happen.
It's because they didn't start to introduce it really until the 7th or 8th season.
Yeah.
And there was like one moment in the 7th season, and then 8th season it seemed like, oh, like she is all of a sudden very brutal and not at all merciful.
Yeah, and then she's like kind of the final boss of the show.
Yeah, and then and then her best friends basically get murdered in front of her, and then that's when it kind of flips the switch.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? Screw everybody. I'm about to I'm about to mess some stuff up. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I guess the only thing people had a problem with was like saying who has a better story than Brom the Broken.
But yeah, and that's a whole nother thing I'm not even going to talk about. But it'd be really there was no Meraxes that flew in at the end and was like she wasn't riding Meraxes at the end when she destroyed all of King's Landing.
Yeah.
All of the innocent mommies and daddies and children.
I never really got into the show, and by the time the show ended, I was like, okay, well now everyone's bummed. So maybe I'll be one of those hipsters. Not hipsters. I'll be the opposite of hipster. I'll watch it way late.
I do think it is worth the ride. I think it is hard to stomach in some areas, which I think it's brutal.
A lot of incest, a lot of violence.
Well, I would say the incest is like creepy, gross, but it's stuff that turns your stomach. Like there's a man who gets his head basically exploded by someone's bare hands. Like someone basically takes his head and squeezes his head so hard, like it pops.
Crushes the head.
And the visual, like most shows and other shows, kind of turn away a little bit at the last minute.
Not HBO.
Not on Game of Thrones, my friend. You see everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a man who viciously gets castrated. Like it's very
and of course Sean Penn dies,
and of course Sean Bean Penn's out there being crazy as ever.
Sean Bean added to his list of deaths.
You know, he doesn't die in National Treasure though.
He doesn't die in that or Jupiter Ascending.
He just goes, he isn't Jupiter I remember him in that.
Yeah I feel like now he's one of those actors that's like I die too much in these movies, so I'm gonna specifically get roles where I don't die.
Yeah.
But anyways, Meraxes was the top predator in its environment, and to be fair, there were a ton of contenders for that. Close relatives of Meraxes that also lived in the Mid Cretaceous Argentina include the aforementioned Giganotosaurus, Mapusaurus.
I
know this sounds so silly. And then Tyrannotitan.
I just love your the way you
it's spelled
emphasized Mapusaurus, not Mapusaurus.
It's
Mapu. It's like someone going
Mapu.
Hey child, that's Mapu.
It's almost like Borat saying Mapu.
Mapu.
But then there's Tyrannotitan. So what is it? You got these names like Giganotosaurus, Tyrannotitan.
Giganotosaurus is so unoriginal and very disappointing of a name because it's just from gigantic or giga, right?
Yeah.
Which is just like not. Be more
it
creative.
kind of looks like Gigantosaurus, but there's an extra O in it.
Yeah, it just is like. Of course, that's what you get. Did a 5-year-old name this?
Oh, possibly. But I feel like a 5-year-old named Mapusaurus.
Mapusaurus.
What does Mapusaurus come? Hold on. Mapusaurus name.
That's
meaning.
like when someone's crazy and they took a dookie and then they kissed a man and then they were like Mapu sauce.
Okay, it sounds like more like we're actually being terribly racist because the Mapusaurus is derived from the Mapuche word Mapu, meaning of the land.
Well, I think it's also might be your pronunciation and not just us. Let's just say we're uneducated. Now we are.
The Mapuche.
So wait, can you spell it?
Mapuche. The Mapuche are a group of indigenous inhabitants of present-day South Central Chile and southwestern Argentina.
You know, my mom is somewhat. She's some Native American.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think that's Mapuche. Yeah.
So the Mapusaurus then. Okay.
Mapu. Yeah, probably.
Mapusaurus. Okay, so I apologize, listeners.
That's okay. We're learning. That's what this show is about.
It's okay to make mistakes as long as you acknowledge them and learn from them. Anyways. It's unlikely that all these apex predators live simultaneously, as the law of ecological niches dictates that only one genus per biome can exist within a certain niche. So it's like, we got the top predator. There can only be one top predator.
That makes sense.
There's like, there's only one creature that feeds off the leaves from this hive of trees. There's only creature that like...
Yeah, we're the only creature that's awful. Yeah. Well, no, there's a lot of awful creatures.
There's a lot... wasps are pretty awful.
Wasps. Yeah, wasps. White spiders.
Yeah. Other black spiders are fine, but white spiders.
Spiders, they give me them creepy crawlies.
No, I don't think any spiders are fine.
Wait, oh no, I'm losing the name. Oh, wait, don't tell me. Meraxes. No, wait, that's a
You got some of the right letters.
Wait, that's a laxative medication.
Meraxes. This episode is sponsored by Meraxes.
I think my mom takes that.
Need a royal
wait.
flush? Then
Don't
get
t-
yourself some Meraxes.
Don't tell me. Oh, frick! I'm losing it. Maxi pad.
Max. Okay, that's a different part
Moving
from a
further
different
away.
orifice.
Meraxes.
There's no L, if that helps.
Miramax. No,
That's
Harvey Weinstein's
this
company.
is all sorts of terrible things.
Maxi pads are a great benefit for
I
a
guess
woman.
that's true. No, Max pads are good.
Miralax. I've lost it.
Meraxes.
Frick, man. I straight up thought that was Miralax. Okay. Miralax sounds
the
like
L tripped you up.
Yeah. Miracular.
Think vernacular. Miracular.
Miracular. Wow, you look miracular.
You look. That sounds like you're drunk. You go up to a person in a bar, like, "Hey,
Hey
you're
there, I just wanted to
say you're miraculous."
I just wanted to tell you, you look
Straight-
miracular.
Straight up
This evening.
miraculous.
Miraculous. Okay, miraculous.
Anyway,
That's just a word.
okay, so it's more likely that these different genuses are different steps in the evolutionary line of its family, the carcharodontosaurids. Speaking of which, Meraxes has actually the most complete skeleton of any member of its family.
Oh.
Because most of the time we've discovered these dinosaurs, we
Yeah,
find like
bits and pieces.
bits and pieces. Sometimes just barely anything. But it's like for this, it's like nope. We found like most of the head, a lot of the body, a little bit of the arms and legs.
Can you imagine if, like, crazy amounts of years from now, aliens come down and they find all these fossils of humans, but they're only finding bits and pieces? So, like, they're coming up with humans like, well, this looks like a leg bone, so they're putting, like, extra bones. And
I mean,
just,
that's
like,
basically what
that's basically
paleontologists
what
have to
they're
do.
doing.
It's,
Yeah.
it's very possible if we ever invented time travel, went back in dinosaur times, we wouldn't be able to recognize the dinosaurs because we just have depicted them so wrong.
Yeah.
One unique thing about Meraxes compared to its other members of its family. So, like I said, T-Rex had really small forelimbs, right? Had really small arms.
Yeah.
Most other meat-eating dinosaurs have much bigger ones. But this one, unlike other members of its family, the carcharodontosaurids, it also had really small forelimbs. And we're, like, wondering why. Because
Were they proportionate enough? Like, could I, if I was, like, doing what a dinosaur does with my little hands in front of me, and then I bend down, and then I pick up with both of my hands.
Yeah.
I pick up
It couldn't
claws.
pick up anything.
I suppose it couldn't pick things up. Even like with one, like a branch, or like I want to throw this
It
branch
could
out
pick
of the
something
way.
up if it was right in front, but even then it would use its mouth.
I guess that's true, yeah, because you don't have. They're so tiny, they probably don't have a lot of muscle to like.
Well, actually, T-Rex had really strong
Really, the
arms.
tiny ones?
Yeah, and they think
Wow.
probably what it was for was like as it was biting the prey with its mouth, it also grabbed onto
Tore
it with its
into it?
claws, and then kind of just used it to latch on. Like,
Interesting.
So yeah.
So this guy has similar because it's.
But also, unlike T-Rex, this one has 3 fingers rather than 2. So
You only have 2 fingers?
yeah.
Oh, and a thumb.
Nope, no thumb.
It's straight up walking around with just
Hold
2
on.
phalanges.
Let me show you.
This is insane.
Yeah, no, T-Rex only had 2
T-Rex's claws had only 2?
Yep, only 2.
What freaks of nature? I apologize so much if there's a viewer out there who's an amputee and only has 2 fingers. You are not a freak of nature. You are loved.
See?
That is upsetting. That is so unnatural. That looks like friggin' kids' chopsticks glued onto it. What in the hell?
Yep, 2 fingers.
I swear to God, this is a Mandela effect. I'm going to put a poll out on my Instagram.
Oh, look, so many older depictions of T-Rex back when they had it with 3 fingers just because it looked cool. Like in Fantasia.
Yeah, because that looks dumb as shit.
In Fantasia, Walt Disney depicted it with 3 fingers, and paleontologists at the time told him it's supposed to only have 2 fingers, and Walt was straight up like, no, I like it with 3 fingers.
I really generally don't like Walt Disney.
Yeah.
But he right.
Let's see, hold on. See, like, here's it from...
Because that, tell me if you agree. Someone
Here
out
it is
there
in
has to
Fantasia.
agree.
So, like, Walt Disney...
Well, one of those is drawn poorly, but I think that's more for... That looks better.
Yeah.
That looks way more natural than a freaking 2-fingered absolute freak show. Jesus. This is so upsetting.
Wait until I tell you about Mononychus.
Does it only have 1
It only has 1.
Just for pointing.
Mononychus.
Just for pointing. That's all it does. That. Over there. I want that animal over there.
Up there, see?
That looks just like a fin, like an arm that turns.
The Alvarezsaurus.
This looks like
Yeah.
pincers.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah,
They
but
look like pincers.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways, this is a toy of one for giraffe.
But our boy's got 3 fingers, so
Yeah, this
he's
one
not
has
afraid.
3.
He gets major points for at least having. From now on, I need to know how many fingers his animals have before I rate them at the end.
Okay, I think. Oh, hey, you're in luck. I believe Suchomimus, the one we talked about recently, might have 4.
Oh hell yeah! The more fingers, the higher the rating.
Oh nope, Suchomimus only has 3.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me zoom in close. Sorry.
Can you trust these Google images?
I don't know. Hold on. Let's see. No, that's 3. It looked like it had a little thumb, but no head.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That's
Meraxes
right.
is
That's
3.
right.
Okay.
This
is so funny how this is bothering
This
you
is
so
the
much.
most upsetting thing
That T-Rex only has 2
you
fingers.
have shared with me about dinosaurs since I've known you. That is so messed up. It blows my mind, and I
pointing
can't
with
believe
2
they didn't die
fingers.
sooner.
In fact, I had a joke about this in one of my Megazoic books.
It's so ridiculous looking.
Where, like, in my second Megazoic book, where a dinosaur, not a T-Rex, but a relative of T-Rex who also had 2 fingers, she was angry with someone. As she was walking away, I said she held up a particular claw. And I said, but since she only had 2 claws per hand, she did not have the desired effect. Which is basically a finger joke.
Right. I get
but,
I'm
but,
following
like,
you.
you can't really do that with 2 fingers. But here's the thing. So T-Rex, it had those tiny 2-fingered hands because it had such a big head. So
How big is Meraxes' head?
it's not as big, relatively. So why did Meraxes have such small arms compared to others of its family? Did it have a bigger head, or did it have a longer torso? Possibly.
Is that a question for me?
I don't know.
I'm the expert here.
It has a skeleton. We'll have to figure out. Maybe it had a longer torso, but that's nothing to be ashamed of.
This guy isn't a freak, so whatever's the most normal.
Well, like some, I know some women that like have longer torsos. I know.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I have longer legs. My sister has a longer torso. Like,
yeah, it's like
it's definitely
as much as some women would like to have bodies that are 70% legs, you can still be attractive with a longer torso.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think Meraxes can too.
Meraxes can be sexy. Don't you diss it?
Yeah, exact. Sexy Meraxes.
Yeah, that's right.
Sex.
Give me that Merax.
Meraxes. Wait, Merax. It has
Here's
sex.
some I should write a children's book about
Meraxes
about
sex.
someone about a Meraxes who has IBS. No, not IBS. They have problems with constipation, and then it'll be called and sponsored by Miralax, and it'll be called Miralax for Meraxes. Miralax for Miranda Meraxes.
Wow, that really rolls off the tongue. Kids are gonna love that.
It's a story that empowers children who struggle
have
with
who struggle with constipation.
Yeah, and it's bringing to life the new discovery of this dinosaur.
I feel like there's probably books like that, probably about like blockage or something.
Yeah, but this one's about a fun dinosaur with 3 fingers.
Well, don't worry, that's scientifically accurate.
Not
Meraxes
like,
didn't have 3 fingers.
not like there's other books about the constipated dinosaur with 2 fingers. My book will have a constipated dinosaur with 3.
It's so funny that bothers you so much.
It's just, I'm telling, Google it yourself. Tell me it doesn't look right. Like, I swear to God, if we took a Family Feud style poll, if we go out there and poll, people of America and worldwide will be like, dinosaurs have 3. Like, how many phalanges does a T-Rex? I swear to God, I would, like, I'll bet money on this. Like,
I'm sure a lot of people would, but
yeah, because we're idiots and we don't know, but also because we don't want to believe that there's such a freak out there.
2 fingers, 0 thumbs.
That is so messed up.
They couldn't count to 5 without using their feet.
That is disgusting.
Anyway. So
Yeah.
the thing is, Meraxes, its jaws, unlike T-Rexes, which were meant for crushing, Meraxes was used for ripping. Like, and so what we think it did is it took the Argentinosaurus, the big long necks I was talking about earlier.
And ripped them open.
Well, more like it nipped at its legs. It's because it couldn't reach for it. And so the point where it started to
Douche.
collapse.
Okay.
It collapsed.
Why didn't it just go through the throat and rip at that?
It couldn't reach the throat. It's too high
What
up.
about the down part of it?
The down part.
The part closer to the ground?
Well, no, he couldn't even reach that. Argentinosaurus was big, man.
Okay.
So it nipped at the legs until
Oh.
it collapsed, and it had
That's
meat
upsetting.
for a while. Yeah, but we have evidence, not of this Meraxes, but of other
It's like my cat.
giganosaurs that do
nips
that.
at my heels.
Yeah, with the point to hopefully knock you over and
Yeah.
and eat your flesh. So
No, not that.
you don't think so?
I hope not.
You don't think like there's reports that when a cat's
Oh yeah. Well, I feel like when a cat's owner dies, and if I think it's more because there's a lack of food.
yeah.
Versus, like, I would say right now, if I'm in a situation where I am not being fed and the thing I relied on to feed me died and it was in front of me and I had to either die or eat this thing, I might eat that thing.
Okay, so let me. I would like to state that I'm not going to ever be stranded on a desert island with Lexi for my own
Yeah,
safety.
I mean, in this situation, you're dead.
yeah, I guess I know. but-
Of natural of causes where I could eat you.
yeah, Maybe. Okay.
You'd rather me starve and us both die? Matt, we have been friends for over 10 years. Yeah.
12 years, yeah.
12 years. And you're telling me that if you died of like...
Actually, you know what? You're right.
We're in a plane crash and all of a sudden you get your arm cut off and you bleed out. And then I have no food and all I have is your body. You're telling me that you're already dead. That you wouldn't allow me to chisel off the smallest piece of you to eat so I could live?
Sure, fine. You have my consent.
I'm telling you, you have my consent. If I'm dead, I'm dead. And if I can save your life...
I guess that's true. Anyways, let's rate Meraxes.
And the two-fingered ones are the freaks. I'm someone who's willing to eat my friend.
Let's rate Meraxes 1 out of 65 million. It may specify it has 3 fingers.
3 fingers? All right. So I'm going to say the automatic minimum for a creature with 3 fingers or more is 30 million.
That's so funny.
If you have 2 fingers, I don't care how cool you are, you belong below 30 million.
Even T-Rex. Well, even
below 30.
Wow.
He's now a freak. I can't handle it. All right, so I'm reading Meraxes.
Meraxes.
Yeah.
Meraxes the drug.
It did help me. It increased my regularity. No, I'm just kidding.
It's good to know. I mean, if you ever have the blockage.
No, I'm going to rate this constipated dinosaur. I'm going to give it it made me giggle a lot. So I'm going to give it like a 48 mil.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 48.
Sounds good. I'm going to give it a 50 mil because it has a cool name.
Okay.
And I don't know, Game of Thrones. Even though it's not Game of Thrones.
Yeah, 48.
48,
yeah.
49. I'm going to say just to be a little bit above you. Price is Right rules.
Okay.
I don't know. All right, that's it for this week. If you want to get a hold of the show and ask us what in the world, why does this bother Lexi so?
Yeah, or tell me about Sweden. Remember, the Swedish people.
Oh, that's right. That was way back.
Tell me how.
You can follow us.
What does that
You
mean?
can email us at mattsd@matthewdonalcreator.com for any questions to any of the co-hosts. You can follow me on social media at MatthewDonCreator on Facebook, at MatthewDon64 on Twitter, and MatthewDon64 on Instagram. Lexi, they can find you.
Lexi Tate 44.
Sounds good. I have a book series on Amazon Megazoic available for print and Kindle. Obviously, there's no Meraxes in it because it was described after I finished the books. But if I ever go back to that world, I'm putting one in because this is a cool name. So, also... I have a podcast called The Writ, where 2 twits talk about writting. We did a skit once about writer's block compared to constipation. The writer's block laxative. So that was
I think I've heard that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so that's it for this week. I'll say the end of every episode of Paleo Bites. Toilet flush sound. Just.
If you have 2 fingers, I hate you.
Special kind of bigotry Lexi is having here. Anyways.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyone is an amputee or who just is born that way, you're loved. It's just the dinosaurs that are freaks. All right?
Yeah.
Let's make that clear.
Anyways, bye.